What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I am doing something a little bit different, and that is giving you some tips on what you should consider when you upgrade your bikes to a different bike. Now, I have been riding for 5 years, and in that time I've ridden multiple bikes and really gotten to feel everything. Now, I started on a 300, upgraded to a 600, and now I ride a 1000. Now, for this test, I have a Yamaha R6 and a Yamaha R1. This is the 2016 Yamaha R6. As you can see, it has quite a bit done to it. This one was my very second bike, and I rode it for a good bit. I put maybe 17,000 miles on it, so it's seen some road time. And on this side, we have the 2024 Yamaha R1. Now, I've had this bike for a little bit over a year, and I've put just under 4,000 miles on it, and it's been quite the experience. But without further ado, let's get into it. To start, when I upgraded to the R6, I wish I knew this before, but things that you should consider are like how much time you've been riding the current bike that you have. I had ridden that 300 for a little bit over a year, and probably that was a bit too soon for me, because when I got this bike 3 days later, I crashed it. Granted, it wasn't really my fault, but I feel if I had known what kind of bike I was riding, I would have maybe avoided that situation a bit more. But so time on the saddle of your current bike is a huge step to determining whether you're ready or not. And another thing is what kind of bike you're upgrading to compared to the bike that you have now. And that is, if you have a 300 naked bike and you go to maybe a Super Duke, that is a very compatible experience, because the bikes have similar ergonomics and they're built kind of the same. It's kind of just a bump in power rather than a bump in handling and power. So like when I upgraded to this bike, it was a lot different from a naked bike that was just under 300 cc's. So that's another thing you can consider. These bikes are kind of built to go very fast, and they don't really like going very slow. For example, like if I'm going through traffic with this bike, it tends to heat up very much. Same with this other one here. But so I tend to take the highways for on my way to like work. Another thing that I can say about like upgrading to a bigger cc bike is perhaps that learning curve between the two bikes. Let's say you have a Ninja 650, very different from a 600cc bike, because those bikes are very attuned very differently. There is a learning curve between both bikes. You should take the time that you need to relearn everything from that bike, because I feel like in my perspective, the biggest issue was I did not give that bike enough time to relearn everything, because it wasn't the same bike. And obviously some things translate over, but there's a lot of different things that you should be watching. And the power aspect of it is a huge thing, and you should watch out for that, what you'll be using the bike for. Now, when I got this bike, I used it for, I dailied it. And for this kind of bike, maybe not the best idea, but I also like enjoyed riding, and I rode the bike everywhere. So that wasn't too much of a big deal to me, but it wasn't as comfortable as maybe a 300. So like the kind of bike that you're getting and what you're using it for is kind of important, because let's say if I'm dailying this bike, I need it to be comfortable and also be efficient in the things that you may need for a daily. This doesn't mean that you can't daily any kind of bike that you'd like. Like for example, I daily this R1 here, and I do it just fine. However, there is some things that you can do to the bike to like make it a little bit easier to do that. For example, you can like do a different seat that maybe gives you a bit more comfort, and then you can do better grips, better levers, and all that good stuff. And all that will come in handy, because it improves how long you can be on that bike without having to be fatigued. One last thing before I let you guys go. The last thing that you want to consider before upgrading to a bigger bike is just sit down with yourself and be honest and think about whether you are ready to take that next step or not, because that goes in a long way. If you're not ready, then you're probably gonna regret that decision. But if you really think that you are, just take it easy and everything should be fine. Now, if you like this video and you would like to see more like this, leave a like, subscribe and comment. I'll see you later.